Hello world, it's me, Igor. A quick announcement. You can see the timestamps in the description of this video. It's because I made a little bit of the history lesson about history of Latvia for the first 9 minutes of this video. So if you don't need a history lesson, go to 9 minutes mark and you will see the playthrough. The first archaeological finds in Latvia date back to 9,000 years before Christ. It was then, after the last glacier had retreated, that these territories began to be populated. The next 10,000 years were relatively peaceful for these people. The Baltic tribes were engaged in fishing, hunting, and trade, since it was possible to sail as far as Persia and Byzantium, along the rivers flowing into the Baltic Sea. Even the ancient Romans had some idea of this region. From here they received amber for their jewelry. Everything changed in the 13th century. By this time all of Europe had already professed Christianity. In 1193, Pope Celestine I declared a crusade against the Baltic pagans, with the goal of converting them to Catholicism and removing them from the influence of Orthodoxy. By the middle of the 13th century, the entire territory of the Baltic pagans was divided between the Teutonic and Livonian knightly orders, as well as the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. The Crusaders founded the city of Riga, which would later be accepted into the Hanseatic League, become a large trading city and the capital of Latvia. Martin Luther's Reformation greatly undermined the foundation of statehood in the region, and the majority of the population converted to Protestantism. In 1558, Russia, the Polish-Lithuanian Duchy, and Sweden began a war for the possession of these territories, which ended in 1583 with the division of Livonia between the Polish-Lithuanian Duchy and Sweden. In the 17th century, the Duchy of Kurland, a vassal of the Polish-Lithuanian Duchy, experienced an economic boom and even captured overseas colonies, Gambia in Africa and the island of Tobago in the Caribbean. In turn, Riga became the largest city in Sweden, and Vidzeme was called the Granary of Sweden, since it provided grain for most of the Swedish kingdom. In the 17th century, the consolidation of individual peoples, Latgalians, Silonians, Semigalians, Curonians, and Livs, into a single one-language Latvian people, gradually took place. The first book in Latvian language also appeared at that time. During the Northern War between Russia and Sweden, Peter I approached Riga in 1710 and captured it after an 8-month siege. The territory of Vidzeme came under Russian control. At the end of the century, all of Latvia became part of Russia. I remembered an important fact from my work as a teacher. In 8th grade history classes, children learn about Anna Ioannovna, Peter the Great's niece, who ruled Russia from 1730s to 40s. So she had a favorite, her lover and the most influential person in the country during that decade, Ernst Jagan Biron. And you know what? He was also the Duke of Kurland, Latvia. This is far from the last time that people connected with Latvia will have a great influence on Russia. Despite joining the empire, the laws of these lands often differed greatly from those internally in Russia. Latvian barons could gather in land tax and propose various bills. And also in 1818, serfdom was abolished in all of the Baltics. I want to say that serfdom was abolished in Russia 50 years later. Riga became the fourth most important city in the country. But with the economic growth came two problems. First, the Pale of Settlements passed through Latvia, because of which the province was filled with a large number of Jews. The presence of Jews in itself is not a problem, but when Hitler will come, it will be a very big problem. The second problem is the large number of workers and sailors. By the beginning of the 20th century, many of them will spread socialism and organize uprisings. The Jewish population was also involved in this process. At the end of 1918, most of Latvia, including Riga, was captured by the German army during the First World War. However, Germany, having lost the war, could not keep these lands, while the victorious countries were not interested in them going to Soviet Russia. The current international situation gave Latvia a chance to gain its own statehood. The authorities of the Republic of Latvia began to form, which proclaimed the independence of Latvia on November 18, 1918. Beautiful number. But as I said earlier, a lot of workers wanted a socialist Latvia. So the civil war begins. That's one of the sides we will be on in Kaiserreich, the Republic of Iskalat, Bolsheviks. Historically, they lost to democratic forces, but Latvian shooters helped Lenin stabilize young Bolshevik regime in Russia. So without Latvian shooters, there will be no USSR. On June 16, 1940, the USSR presented Latvia with an ultimatum, the main demand of which was the resignation of the government hostile to the Soviet Union and the formation of the new government under the supervision of representatives of the USSR. Soviet power in Latvia began to be established using proven technology. In order to pull up the bourgeois Baltics to the standards of Stalin's USSR, counter-revolutionary elements were eradicated at an accelerated pace. Property was nationalized and collectivization was carried out. A week before the start of the war, on June the 14th, the first mass deportation was organized. About 15,000 people were sent to Siberia. On June 22nd of 1941, Germany attacked USSR. Within a week and a half, the territory of Latvia came under German control and remained under German control until July 44. During this time, up to 90,000 people were killed in Latvia. Since July 1941, volunteer police units began to form in Latvia, some of which participated in the extermination of the Jewish population. For that reason, Salaspils concentration camp was created by Schutzstaffel in the northern region of Latvia. I have different figures, but it is safe to say that most of the Jews in Latvia were exterminated during these 3 years. Then came the Soviet occupation once again. I want to also mention that Latvia and other Baltic states were the richest republics of USSR. But it came to an end in 1991 when Latvian people voted for independence. So that's all, folks. Let's play the game. Okay guys, here we are in the United Baltic Duchy. And I want to state one thing, and I want to make it very clear. I restarted this campaign 5 times in a row. Just because stupid friends cannot survive Second Weltkrieg. I even went into Reddit and asked for help, but there was no help. So I keep trying and trying and trying and trying. For example, look at this. You see, I'm pushing up to Königsberg, to the Prussia, and look at communist France. Look at Italy, they're both dead. That's how all of my playthroughs went. Infuriating, at least. I tried everything. Heavy tanks, medium tanks, space marines, planes, and even SPGs, but failed miserably. This is the try where I finally succeeded. And here is the event chain where we finally became Iskolat Republic, Bolsheviks. And now we have 0 civilian factories, 1 military factory, and almost no manpower. Of course, I needed some help, so I changed the rules of the game, so a lot of countries in the Reichspakt will become communist, syndicalist, or socialist. Now we have a choice in our focus tree. Will we be syndicalist or Bolshevik? We pick Bolshevik because we want to revive Soviet Union. It's the only way how you can revive Soviet Union in Kaiserreich. Wow, look at this. Mr. Ferdinand looks like a honey badger. Oh, Mr. Benito Mussolinovic. You know, in Russian language we have a word maslina, and it's pretty similar to Mussolina. I'm gonna prove it to you. Look at the picture. Mussolini and Maslini are the same thing. Oh, and also Mr. Mosley, English Joker guy. If you were wondering, we made a collectivization effort. Now we are going for manpower and we're gonna conscript half of our country into an army. Whoa, what the hell? It's not me who's done that. Whoa. Mr. Hohenzollern, I don't feel so good. I don't want to complain, but I hate how often pop-up events appear. Ooh, Ireland in the Third International. Wait, his name is Pidar? Don't Google what Pidar mean in Russian. Now the most important part of this playthrough, heavy tank design. We need a lot of defense and a lot of armor, so enemy cannot pierce us, because we have like 20 or 30,000 manpower. We cannot afford any losses.
Hey, what the hell's going on? Where they taking?
Estonia.
Sorry, kid.
Estonia.
Wasn't part of our deal.
So I found out about this guy, the head of our government, guys. He is not a good man. He was a Bolshevik revolutionary, but after 1917, something broke in this Yakov guy. He became one of the first members of the Cheka, like the grandfather of the NKVD. He is the main reason why Latvians were overrepresented in the repressive organs of the USSR. Out of 200,000 Latvians in the USSR population, 158 millions, 11% of the Cheka were Latvians. So in early Soviet Russia, a Chekist and a Latvian were synonymous. This Jacob Peters shot and tortured thousands of people. In Russia, there is a proverb, a dog's death for a dog. Jacob was shot on a trumped-up charge in 1938. And here is the Second Weltkrieg, but we will not join it right now. Ooh, also Transamur appeared. Okay, it's time to stop messing around and help my allies. France killed Reichspakt already, so we need to join to take Riga, which is our core state. Right now we are capturing Riga, and I have to take time and say thank you for watching this video so far, and if you want, subscribe, leave a like, I will be happy. and I will make more videos in the future. There is one serious problem with this build. It has no soft attack. Yes, it can defend, it has a lot of defense with a heavy tank in template, but it's a little bit hard to push, as you can see. Anyway, Riga is captured, we doubled the amount of civilian and military factories, and now we're gonna play a waiting game again. Because we need our allies to finish all the wars so they can focus on Russia. This is quite a long process. And this is the biggest problem of this focus tree. It ends in 1940. Man, you could add a little bit of flavor to it. At least few civilian factories, few manpower focuses, few meals. Why not? Man, this Bulgaria is something insane. Rest in peace, brother. You earned it. Okay, I think we are ready for the war with Russia. Let's go! Oh no! They actually looks like pretty strong air dominance and they're pushing me so hard. I need to retreat. So we're gonna hold the defensive perimeter and hope that our French friends will be fast to help us. I was thinking about another restart, but then I saw that my allies are pushing pretty hard. So I was like Pippin and Gandalf in Minas Tirith. Allies should come any minute, so we will hold. And actually, as I said earlier, I have really high defense with the heavy tanks, so when I stack divisions one onto each other, they cannot pierce me, they cannot do anything to me. Here you can see the birth and the downfall of the Ukrainian new socialist state. All in 1 minute. And here are the casualties of the war. You can see we are grinding them pretty hard. We even inflicted 1 to 10 casualty ratio. This Bulgaria is a leitmotif of this playthrough. And also look at the Serbia. I can understand the AI. Bornholm Island is a very beautiful place. I want to live there too. French landed in Estonia. I think it's time for a great offensive into the Poland. We're gonna make a huge encirclement.
Шли по степи полки со славой громкой, и день и ночь со склона и на склон. А вы, моя родимая сторонка, прими от красных конников поклон. Расцветай, и пой наш дом любимый, гордись своим простором золотым. Твоих лугов и пашин край родимый, мы никогда врагам не отдадим. За частей идет товарищ Сталин от нищеты и горя и оков. И первый раз большое солнце встало над молодой землей большевиков. Колхозов хлеба полные амбары, привольно жить нам стало на дому. Проливали кровь свою недаром, мы на полях гражданскую войну. А если враг нагрянет с новой силой, из ножен шашки снова вырвем вон, иди на бой, товарищ Ворошилов, Донецкой крепость. каких поднимется в строю. За мирный труд, за вольный край совета, за молодую родину свою. А по степи опять со славой громкой пойдут полки со склона и на склон. Следующая родимая сорока прими от красных конников поклон. Сигма-бой, каждая девчонка хочет танцевать со мной.
Whoa, what a huge encirclement, which we will not close because we want to rush Moscow ASAP. Okay, here's the outskirts of Moscow, we're gonna capture it pretty soon. And now the most stupid thing of all of it playthrough. To form Soviet Union, I need to control and own the state of Moscow. Why is it so bad? Well, because Commune of France will capture a lot of territory, and if I have course, Commune of France will give it to me. But if I don't have course, and I will have course only after the peace deal, then Commune of France will create a lot of stupid puppets. Okay, peace deal is done. And you see, if I had course, France would have given it back to me on a peace deal. But now... Okay, alright, it's what we've been here for. So let's revive the Soviet Union. We have 10 more focuses now, and I don't know what to do. One of the focuses, we will exit the international and create our own faction. So I was preparing for a war with the whole Europe. You will see the results of my preparations in a second. Guys, I think I'm literally in unwinnable situation. I have 4, 5 or 6 fronts, all of them with the buffed up international, and it was going fine. But then International started to declare war on my puppets. This is where things get south. I don't know if I can win it. I tried multiple times, and one time I even transferred all of Soviet Union to me. Prepared for 2 or 3 years, and then started a war which I also lost. So I guess that's it, guys. If somebody wants, I can send you a save file. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time, and don't forget to